Hello, everybody. What's good? What's good? Joey J. Ping checking in live, respectmyregion.com. Here today on another episode of the New York Cannabis Podcast, brought to you guys by the RMR Podcast Network, our homies over at Trees and Extract Consultants. Today, I've got a very special guest, Carol Tyson, Director of Marketing at Jaunty over in New York. Man, 400 plus retail partners. How we living? How we doing today?
Hey Joey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me. We're doing well. Having a really good week. No complaints.
I love that. I love that. And you personally having a good week? I don't know, what's the weather like in September 24th in New York? What's it like over there this time of year?
Honestly, it's a little humid. It's a little cloudy today. We're supposed to get rain. We're in a drought right now.
Okay.
And it rained a little bit this morning. I was really looking forward to a rainy day, but
Yeah.
it hasn't been bad. It's honestly been a beautiful month.
There's something beautiful about New York and all stages and all types of weather out there. There's something beautiful and nostalgic in the gritty cold wind and this awkward humid summer fall. Then the brisk cold windiness that you guys get to through the end of fall to winter. There's something beautiful about that. And with you guys, I think it's amazing because you guys actually create a product that fits right in with the New York lifestyle. Not just one product, a variety of products, right? Tell me a little bit, Carol, about what you guys do there at Jaunty for the people that are across the country that have no clue about what you guys do and all the different amazing products you make.
Yeah, definitely. So Jaunty, we're 100% New York born and bred brand. We've been in the market since 2017 in the old CBD days. Experts in extraction. Our bread and butter 100% lies with our vape lines, but we also produce tinctures, edibles, gummies, and dabbables. So we specialize in distillate products, solventless live rosin, and then we will be venturing into BHO in the upcoming months. So really shifting our focus more into a 3-oil strategy to accommodate all consumers in New York State.
And what's cool about that we'll call it that trifecta of concentrates, right? Each of the products you already make are able to be infused and like merged together with the different oil types. And so for the person that currently is complaining about, oh, I want the tincture like this, or I want the edibles more like that, it's like, hold your horses. We got it coming. It'll taste just as good, if not better. And different types of weed will be in it, right? It's going to be
100%. Great.
I know you're excited, Carol. As the marketing person there, as the director, the big boss dog there, what is it like marketing so many different products, right? You got the problems with Meta, you got the Instagram issues, but you guys have hit 400 plus stores in a New York market with only like 450 to 500 active. So you're over 80% there. How have you been doing it marketing wise? How do you approach it? Help paint some of that picture for us.
Definitely. I see myself as a connector. I like to connect product development, sales, branding, and connecting that with consumer needs. So it really involves listening, adapting rather quickly, and making sure our products fit into what our customers, what our actual consumers need in their day-to-day lives in New York State. So again, being quick on our feet, adapting quickly, but also being able to offer a product that is reliable and consistent is absolutely key.
I saw in the information sent over to me that you had spent some time in the Massachusetts market as well, correct?
Yeah, so I spent before I joined Jaunty in 2024 in February of 2024, I started with the Pass and Temescal Wellness in the Berkshires of Massachusetts. So there are two vertical integrators. At the Pass, I worked heavily in a retail-focused environment, building out our consumer program in our brick-and-mortar retail store. And then with Temescal, my role shifted more heavily into the wholesale market. The market had definitely matured very quickly once I was at Temescal. There was a big shift in demand and focus on solventless products, which is very exciting for me. It's something I have a very big passion for. And then there I launched.
Folks. She's a dabber. That's the hint right there. We got to read between the lines. She's a low temp dabber. We know the deal. We know it. We know a solventless girl when we see one.
And then there I helped launch their statewide wholesale programs, and our emphasis was again on small batch flower, premium rosin. So those two experiences for a couple of years really helped give me a front row seat to how early stage cannabis markets grow, but also how quickly they evolve and how
Mm.
quickly you as a brand, as a retailer, have to evolve to what customers really respond to.
I mean, obviously you're a rosin individual, but you guys are selling a variety of other products too, right? We're talking
Mm-hmm.
gummies, we're talking tinctures, we're talking the vapes, and I saw a
Yep.
variety. I saw a bunch of flavors, and one thing that I really like about vape companies is not that they're all the same, but you guys find these nuanced ways to stand out. And one of the nuances that really makes a difference is the strains that you choose when you are doing either cannabis derived terpenes or botanical terpene vapes, right? You could do an
Mm-hmm.
OG Kush, you could do a Blue Dream, you could do an orange creamsicle, you could do a raspberry whatever or a lemonade this, right? And a lot of people do that, those strains. A lot of people do
Yep.
sell a lot of those same strains, and it's rightfully so because that's like at the bar you got Corona, you got Heineken, you got the IPA that, Lagunitas in
Mm-hmm.
California. I'm sure New York has its own thing. Texas, Shinerbach beer, right? You have to have the consistent locals requests. And I think that's something that you guys are really hitting on the point there. When I immediately saw the vapes and I clicked on the gummies, and I just quickly, what stood out to me is the flavor relatability, the strain relatability. You talk to me a little bit about why you guys chose the flavors and the strains and the things that you guys
Mm-hmm.
picked. How does that communicate Jaunty's vibe, if you would?
Definitely. Our brand overall is very lighthearted, very approachable, in almost a joking way. We try not to take ourselves too seriously. We want to
Mhm.
be a brand that customers can rely on, that they can read the COA, they can read the package, and they can trust they know exactly what they're consuming, what they're putting into their bodies. So when we entered into the market in the rec market in 2023, we entered with our classic line of vapes. So they're 1 gram vape cartridges
Yeah.
with distillate oil and cannabis derived terpene. So like I
Okay.
said, we don't sell flower, we don't sell pre rolls. Our goal as a company, our mission is to bridge the gap between flower and oil. So
I
someone
see.
who might be a diehard flower person, in many regards, flower will always be king. However, we're here to provide a reliable, safe product for customers who might want to be able to dabble into vapes
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and maybe try edibles and maybe try dabs. So we focus on putting out classic vapes that install this sense of nostalgia. Reliability, comfortability, something that people know. They hear green crack and they're like, I've tried that or I've heard of it and I want to go out and purchase it. Same thing with our Jaunty Palms. It's our 1.5 gram
Yeah, these are
disposable.
those disposable all-in-ones
Mm-hmm.
right here.
They have outperformed our expectations. It's 1.5 grams of oil in a disposable for $60
Wow.
MSRP. They've just
Wow.
been flying off the shelves. So
I like the
those two.
battery, like the hardware looks attractive. You guys don't obviously you don't have to name the company in that, but I love the way
Mhm,
it looks. It feels like I can sense the sleekness, and I have small hands,
mhm.
admittedly, and so I like things that actually can hide in the palm of my hand. You know.
Yeah, the palms are fantastic. That was directly created in from listening to our customers, listening to what they want, because we didn't have disposables for a long time. And there's a lot of companies out there that have half grammars and grammars and 2, 3 grammars, but no one was doing the 1.5 grams. So we wanted to
Yeah.
do something that felt different, that felt jaunty, that felt innovative in the market.
Yeah, like when I now after hearing like the 1.5 and like seeing the strains, I kind of feel like, oh man, little jaunty man, that's kind of that heavy shit, man. That shit, that's that good. Like it gets me feeling some kind of way now that I think about what goes into like the creation of that. You know what I'm saying? And like
Mhm.
how that ultimately gets delivered in a bigger form factor. Same thing, more oil, right? Which is great. I think in Cali, there's one group here that does a 1.2, I think, but
Oh, that's fun.
for the most part, it's usually just the ones.
Yep.
Um, and in some places, I know that 2 grammers are allowed, but that's not everywhere. And so, but consumers have these different demands, and if you give somebody the same, like you have the 1 gram purchase, then you got people that'll buy more. Those are not the same person. Someone likes to buy 2 liter sodas, and the other person will buy four 20 ounce
Hmm.
bottles. You know what I mean? And they'll spend more doing the 20 ounce bottles than they will buying the 99 cent 7 Up, right? So
Exactly.
it's very interesting how that works, but we have to give people what they want. I love that you guys have chosen to do that. Talk to me a little bit about the name, Carol. I know you've only been there so long, but what's the history of
Yeah.
the brand? I mean, 2017, Man, that's 8 years.
Hmm.
That's 8 years and 6, 7 months now.
I know, it's
It's a long
scary.
time. It's a journey. How did we fall on the name? How did the brand,
Yep.
how did we build this? How did how did it become what it is today?
So our co-founders, so our business entity name is Nature. So we actually entered the New York market with Nature as essentially the B2B name. Customers didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
We had Jaunty was our first homegrown brand that lived under the Nature label, and our co-founders, our CCO Christian, he actually came up with the name Jaunty. And everyone from the stories that I've heard over dinners, and you go out for a jaunt, you go out for a walk with something that is reliable in your pocket, and it could be you're going out to a picnic, or you're going out to go read in the park, or you're going to go out to the gym,
Some kind of theme of reliable thing.
Exactly. And jaunty, it sounded fun. It sounded lighthearted. That was really the feeling and the essence that we wanted to evoke through the brand. Again, if I always say this to customers, if jaunty were to be a person, this person doesn't fit into any sort of societal clique, doesn't care about if you like this or that. Like this jaunty person is just out doing his or her own thing, going about his or her own day, going for a weekly jaunt, a daily jaunt with a reliable product.
Or it's that thing that is the jaunty in your life, right?
Exactly.
Right? It could be both, because it's like a person and a lifestyle, right? That's what we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
attach to, right, and to correlate it with. But when I think of the jaunty, it's always like I smoke joints when I go for a walk every time, right? That's my
You're
little
going for a
jaunty.
jaunt.
Yeah, that's my little jaunty thing. You know what I'm saying? I rock with that. See, as long as you guys got your thing, and you're not
Yep.
trying to speak to everybody, it can be for
Exactly.
everybody, but speaking to everybody is a miss, right?
It's
And but
it's it's
if you
impossible.
it's hard, man. I mean, unless you want to spend $7 million to speak to the NFL during the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? And even then, you're not hitting everybody, because I know a lot of people that don't care, you know? So it's like, there's all kinds of different ways to reach a lot of people. And for me, it's simple. I like to find brands that I can connect with and relate to. I want that answer. I don't want to answer like, oh yeah, man, they kill it at indicas. So if you smoke indicas, that's good. Like, that's not
Yep.
enough anymore. I want to know that I'm pulling something out, that it's going to hit good, taste good, smoke good, vape good, edible work. And then I always say this, Carol, the weed's got to work. Talk to me about efficacy. How content are you with the efficacy of your products? I see on the vapes it says 90%. That means you guys have to be good at the extraction and the consistency and the science.
A
Scoff
hundred, a
that
hundred
often.
percent.
A lot of people not believing in science today, but we're going to focus on some science right now, Carol. What is the science of the efficacy behind Jaunty products? Vapes first, edibles second, tinctures third, please.
Oh, we love to geek out on the education side. Yeah, so we grow all of our own flowers. So we have our own farm, but we also have fantastic partnerships with I think it's around 12 different farms in New York State with these farmers, and that gives us the ability to provide a really good price to the consumer. So I hate using the word value. We are not a value brand. We're just providing a quality product at a fair price to the
Yeah.
consumer. Like,
Because
you're
your
paying for
supply
exactly
chain
what you're
allows
getting.
you to do it. If you were a brand that
Exactly.
had to buy everything at a premium price, and here's one of the other what people and consumers don't understand, Carol, is that depending on how a business sets up their business, their partnerships, their collabs, their supply chain,
Mm-hmm.
that ultimately determines the price at which they charge things. And
100%.
they can say, "Oh, I want to charge $200 for that jean jacket, and it's my brand, and I put this on there, and it's a diamond." What they could say whatever they want, but ultimately, if they paid no money for it, that will impact the price that they pick at the end. If they paid a lot of money for it, it'll charge even more. They're not going to just bake it in. No one does that. They can't. The taxes in cannabis don't allow for us just to
Nope.
bake it in and eat it, and we can't do it, right? So
Exactly.
with you guys, I think it's important to recognize that you guys have been smart, intelligent, proactive, forward thinking, future proof culture to have your own farm, to control it at the end of the day, while
Mm-hmm.
also setting up these strategic partnerships. My question, though, isn't so much on the business side. We get
Mm-hmm.
back to the cannabinoids, the things that make the efficacy of these products effective, right? Worth it. A vape, do your vapes have other cannabinoids besides the 90% THC consistently? Is that's what, because the other cannabinoids are going to be what ultimately gets them high, right? And the terpenes high.
Right.
So what is that situation going on in your vapes? And then obviously what's going on in the cannabinoids? Like what's on this? What's in the COAs? What else is on there? You know what I mean? I want to know.
Yeah, so all of our distillate based vapes, they all have cannabis derived terpenes infused into them. On the edible side, for the vape, it's really providing that true to plant experience if you were to smoke the actual physical plant.
Cool.
And then we shift over to the edible side and the tincture side. That's where we infuse with at least for our gummies, we have nano emulsify technology, so they're fast acting on the market. And then we infuse excuse me, effects-based terpenes and minor cannabinoids. So we have our best-selling gummy in New York is our Dreamberry gummies. They're a 1-to-1-to-1 THC, CBD, CBN.
Yes,
if you want to relax, if you want to snooze, you're gonna snooze.
Yes. Can I just say thank you? Thank you to everybody who supports that product as your number one for the gummies. Thank you for you guys for making it. And thank you to your product development team, whoever that is, however many there are, the owners, the R&D people, for doing that. Because the best sleep I've gotten is when it's a 1-to-1-to-1 and it's lower doses of all three.
100%. And they're all working. And that's where the education piece comes in, because all the cannabinoids are working synergistically with each other on a much greater scale than they would if they were just working solo. We have our blueberry lemonade gummies are my favorite nano gummies that we sell. It's a 10-to-5-to-2 THC, THCV, CBC. I like to joke and call it our skinny girl gummy because it really jumpstarts your day. The THCV suppresses your appetite, but it's a nice replacement for people who don't need coffee. It's a fantastic way to wake and bake without smoking.
Admittedly, I'm not up on the CBC as much. Can you refresh me real quick briefly?
CBC is a great anti-inflammatory, and it really when I'm explaining it to customers, it balances out the jolt of energy that THCV can really, it could be overwhelming to a person who isn't experienced with taking a THCV infused product. So it really kind of
on an empty stomach can be a lot.
It can be a lot, exactly, especially if you're taking it first thing in the morning. So the blend of those cannabinoids, and they're on a smaller scale than the THC. So like in New York State, the legal limit for dosing per edible is 10 milligrams.
So that's THC, or is that all cannabinoids?
THC.
Oh, cool. So yeah, so we can hit a 10-10-10 if we wanted to, or the
easy
9 whatever other ratio. That's cool. Okay, so that's still I don't think I've heard. I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. I'm pretty up on the edibles around the country. The one group I'm thinking that's going to challenge my statement here is Wana, but I'm pretty sure they would be the only other group that might have a ratio like that. That's not really a Up Wild's game sleeve at this point, but Wana has a lot of ratios that it's hard for me to stay up on.
Wana has a lot of ratios. There's a lot of fantastic brands. Off Hours are a New York State brand. They're great.
The only one I've heard of those numbers, the 10, 5, and 2.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal to have you guys be explorative in the other ratios and be committed to it. Regardless of what other people are doing, I like that. Even if you're one of 2 or one of 5, I think it's phenomenal. The flavor that you mentioned for that sleep one, I don't think I'd heard that before.
We call it Dreamberry. So it's a berry. It's like a blend of grape and blueberry, but it's not it's not a fruit punch flavor.
Nice. And Carol, I know a lot of people care about these things these days, and I've noticed myself caring more about it too. Part of it is the media culture, and it's hard to know what's real or not. But ultimately, we've been told, I'm 34, I've been told for a long time that the artificial food coloring is bad for us, the blue whatever and the red this, right? So I pay attention to it, right? I pay attention to it. What are your guys' gummies and your guys' colorings and stuff made with? I know that's important for people ingesting these days.
Yeah, our gummies are pectin-based. They're made with all natural ingredients. There's no funny business with any of them. You're getting exactly what the packaging indicates.
Love that. I love that. Okay, now the switch directions. Tinctures, the most slept on, but arguably a extremely valuable category. Ultimately, smoking weed isn't good. Vaping is unproven because it has been illegal, so we haven't done enough studies on vaping long term yet. Gummies, unless they're sugar free, teeth cavities, the history of that, which leads me to tinctures. Low key, one of the most effective delivery methods. Low key, one of the most effective from combating issues from the inside out. That's my inside out dance. And I think it's important for people to hear about your guys' tinctures. And here's a story for you, Carol. I care about tinctures. Cannabis changed my life. I've had kidney stones over 17, 18 times in my life at 34. A lot since I was 20. A lot since I was 20. And in the early days of medical cannabis in Seattle, what kept me out of the ER was medical tinctures. I would win them from a dispensary where I spent $50. You spin the thing, click, 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 and I would win the tincture because
That's awesome.
I was afraid. I was so scared of the pain and so scared of the debt that it comes with going to the ER because you don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
People don't even know you go to the ER. They make you wait for kidney stones. You're better off going to an urgent care. That's the trick. Don't go to an ER. Charge you more, they're going to make you wait even longer. They don't care. There's nothing they can do. They'll tramadol you and get to the fuck out. It sucks. So don't do that, folks. But point being, cannabis as an alternative therapeutic, help you pass the stones is how I did it for years. And so please enlighten me as to all of the wonderful things that make up your tinctures and the ratios, just the flavors, all the stuff if you can, because that is very much a passion and important to me.
Yeah, so our tinctures line, it's definitely the smallest product line that we carry here at Jaunty. We wanted that line specifically to be focused heavily on ratios, CBG, CBN. We have a max tincture that is 1,000 milligrams of THC. So it really is essentially just like the most bang for your buck on a compliance side for the customer. My favorite tinctures that we sell personally are our rosin drops. So it's solventless hash oil. For me, I love the taste of weed. I like having the taste of it. Our other 4 ratio vapes, they have natural food flavorings like lemon, lime, and blood orange, and they're delicious. It's fantastic. There's customers that love that. That's why they originally didn't have flavoring.
It's medicine, and it should be treated as such. Respectfully.
It's a treat. Exactly. But the rosin drops, we already talked about my passion for solventless products. It really provides the tree to plant experience. For me, you get the full bodied high. It's not too heavily focused on just like a tingly body high or an overstimulating cerebral high. It really just helps me relax and focus. It doesn't put me to sleep. It helps me focus on a certain work project, running errands around the house, going out to eat. It's just an overall well-rounded, balanced product.
The ratios, what are the ratios? First off, how many different SKUs are in the tincture, and what would you say your bestseller / predominant ratio ones are, if that's phrased correctly?
No, definitely. We have three ratios. We have our dose, which has CBN, our focus that has CBG in it, and we have our max tincture, which again is that actually is our bestseller, strictly just because of it has the highest allotment of THC in the bottle for the consumer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I would say runner up would be the rosin drops. Those are our 2 top selling SKUs. Funny enough, we actually will be unfortunately phasing out of our tincture line in the upcoming months. It actually hasn't been the best performing line for us. However, our bread and butter lies with vapes. That's where our product development resources, our marketing dollars, our energy is really spent. So just from a
category, it gets
it's so tough.
It doesn't get enough love, and ultimately it's a lot of people say weed is like wine. A lot of people say weed is like this, or alcohol, or this or that. Honestly, dude, it's quite similar to a grocery store. Not every product moves very fast at grocery stores. No. Not everything goes. Vegetables get bad, they got to get thrown away, or they got to slide to the next grocery store. They got to get recycled or whatever, or thrown away, whatever the process is. It's tough. This whole system is not meant for efficient, quick sell through. And some of these products, tincture specifically, it's not popular. It doesn't get the marketing dollars. There aren't brands that bet their whole thing on this, enough of them, that just have endless dollars for it. And what's crazy is tincture's the only thing sold at the grocery store right now that have hemp on it. What's crazy is they're the only thing I could go to Grocery Outlet or CVS right now and I could buy 3 or 4, or maybe 10 tinctures, all sleep related with melatonin and for
Yep.
kids or for sickness stuff. The format's there, but it's just not popular in weed world because people smoke, people dab, people actually that's not true. People smoke, they vape,
They
they
consume
edible,
edibles.
and then down the line they get to tinctures. It's crazy.
Right, exactly. And something important to note is with tinctures, there's a heavy educational component to
Yeah,
tinctures, to
absolutely.
the most effective way to consume tinctures, the dosing. Explaining how your liver processes THC, and your
Mm-hmm.
endocannabinoid system, how everybody is completely different. Like for me, my body reacts really quickly to edibles, but I can take a dab, I can smoke a joint, and it's a completely different experience because of how my internal cannabinoid system is built.
Absolutely. The the reality, right, is you guys are seeing success in the other categories. And
Yeah.
the market responds and does what it does. You guys at least will have the graphics and the designs and the packaging connects and the manufacturing abilities down the road. Hopefully it makes its way back around. Sounds like the solventless ones are working pretty well, the rosin drops. So people are just loving that trend and that kick of the rosin. They're loving the ability to have a whole plant experience or to have a whole flower experience. I think that goes a long ways. Now, Carol, we're at the end of summer, like right now, right?
I
I think
know.
last weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
It's officially fall.
Right? It's officially fall. What does Jaunty have coming up in the season of holidays, the season of giving? We got Christmas and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, and we've got all the other things coming up. I know even Chinese New Year's comes up down the road. Like, we've got
Mhm.
everything coming up. The next 3-4 months is crazy. What is going on in the world of Jaunty for y'all?
We're focusing right now on seasonal drops, quick releases that build a lot of customer hype, but these are also products that our customers have been asking for. So we're going to release them into the market, see how the customers react, see how they move off the shelves, get feedback, and perhaps they could become a staple part of our core lines. We just this week we released Ghost OG and Durban Poison, for
Nice.
spooky season, fall vibes. So we're very excited. They're part of our classics line for now. That has always just been a core piece of our brand from the get go. And
Absolutely.
then yeah, and then in November we will be releasing Northern Lights and a sugar cookie 1.5 disposable. So
Cool.
very excited for those two releases. We are currently underway with harvest, so we're going to have fresh new strains of rosin releasing by the end of the year. So a lot of exciting new strains, new products coming down the line.
If you had to talk to all the 400 retailers right now at once and they were all like asking the same question, it's like you're at the podium. Okay, what are your favorite products that I should buy right now? Like, that's the question I have. If I'm a customer, if I'm a retail buyer and I have to carry Jaunty, it's my first time. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
a seasonal coming up because we're getting October's next month. Buyers, put your orders in. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it rocking. What should they buy for October? What might they get marketing support if they engage with you on some of these products?
Definitely. I think we released a lemon cherry gelato and apple fritter palm, the
Ooh,
disposables. We released those last month. That just epitomizes what fall is. Ghost OG clearly because we're entering into the holiday season, but I would arguably say that edibles, our gummies, both our live rosin and our nano gummies, we sell them in 10 packs and 2 packs.
oh,
They're
cool.
just a fantastic, like, I'm thinking of trick or treat and going out for people who don't necessarily vape, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have
Yeah.
an offering for the people who don't consume vapes.
Of course. Yeah, there's the inhaling people, there's the ingesting people,
Yeah,
there's the topical people, right? The outer layer people. And and then there's people that we use all the things based on our life. Like
exactly.
we know all the products and all that. But there's not as many of us as there are of the normies out there, right? Just the
Right.
regular consumers that just smoke. I mean, it takes you got to know weed to get into dabbing. Like it's a thing.
Yeah,
You're in weed if you dab. Even if you don't dab anymore, you were in weed at one point, pretty deep, right?
exactly.
Seasonal drops. How exciting for you! And two coming
Mhm.
up: Ghost OG, Durban Poison. Shout out the Poison drop for Halloween theme, and shout out you guys coming up with a couple more. in November as well. We're approaching the end of the interview here, so I want to take a moment to shout out our sponsors, Trees, our point of sale, e-commerce, loyalty, analytics, payments partner, New York dispensaries. If you guys are having any issues with your point of sale, consider giving Trees a call, trees.io. Tell them Respect My Region sent you, or give me a call, 206-488-3838. I'll put you in contact with my guy, Alex, my girl, Natasha, right there at Trees. That's my fam. No one's perfect in the space, but Trees and us, we do our best to help you guys continue winning and growing your revenue. And so we appreciate Trees. Our second sponsor is Extract Consultants, our terpene and flavor partner. If you guys are making products out there that need botanical terpenes, cannabis terpenes, if you guys are trying to custom formulate something, these are our guys. Family owned, family operated. I work with the two brothers. It's a great situation. Carol, before we get you out of here, what lessons from your career would you like to share with up and comers? You've been in 2 markets. You guys are crushing in New York. You've been there a year and about a half now. What advice could you share to other women in the space, to other marketers in the space? Share some game if you could.
I focus on this even when I'm hiring and building on my team. I love working with curious people, and I always encourage people to stay curious, ask questions about all aspects of cannabis, from cultivation to processing to packaging to distribution, understanding all these different elements of the business, going into the retailers, speaking to not only buyers and store owners, but speaking to the bud tenders. They're the front lines. They're the people that are selling your product, and they better fully understand the actual product that you're putting out to the market. So ask questions, stay connected, make sure you're speaking and asking the right questions. And it just opens your mind up to all different areas of cannabis that you otherwise would not have been exposed to.
Stay curious, continue learning, always, not to say always be on your hustle, but be on the grind, looking for opportunities, looking for education, networking with people, man. I've known people that get hired because they met somebody in an elevator and their life was never the same. I've met people that I've introduced people and they've started business companies and whole companies together, and now they're millionaires. Like you just never know what can happen, and cannabis is exciting. Carol, I really appreciate you joining and sharing your perspective, your experience and the information about Jaunty. I think it's important. New York is booming. The state of the industry, it's still going. It's growing.
It's not slowing down.
It's not slowing down. They're going. It hasn't plateaued yet. We've had speed bumps. We've had barriers. We've had social equity. We've had lawsuits. We've also got Jaunty success stories. We've also got legacy and craft stories like Chef for Hire. We've got all these different types of businesses, from big to small to corporate to not to MSO to New York is incredibly diverse. And I appreciate you joining and sharing your insights and perspectives today. It's been a pleasure. What's the website where people can visit, Carol, and place a pickup order when they get to New York?
Yeah, it's jaunty.com, jaunty.com. And then you can go click on our store locator and see the entire list of retailers that we work with in New York.
Let's go! Jaunty.com, man. Make sure y'all pull up and get out there to New York, anywhere in New York, from Buffalo to Manhattan and the Bronx to Syracuse, man, all the way out on the coast and the Long Island, all the way to the whatever borough you get lost in, or try Jaunty, folks. I love it. I appreciate you, Carol. Thank you again. Everybody,
Thank you, Joey.
subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode. New York.